What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Kevin Svenson here. Just wanted to do a follow-up video to the last video I made the other day called the Bitcoin V-shaped recovery and why I think it's less likely and why I think a sustained bear market is the more likely scenario here. I just want to make a follow-up video now, sort of giving a more detailed description or visual explanation, rather, of how I see the markets playing out going into the next year. So right now I'm just looking at the 12 hours since our drop below the yearly low. Things are still looking, pretty weak. Although, of course, short positions are at an all-time high. Could we see a short squeeze here? Of course, guys, anything is possible in this market right now. These conditions are absolutely crazy. But, we're kind of just sitting below this resistance, fighting this previous support, which acted as resistance right here, right? You can kind of look at it that way. Just some basic TA here, guys. Sometimes keeping it basic is actually the best way to do it, rather than throwing 1,000 indicators on your screen and just getting confused. And by the end of your analysis, you don't even know what to do. You don't even know what you're looking at, right? So, guys, a lot of times simple TA is the best route. But overall, guys, still looking pretty bearish. We're just holding right below this resistance here. Can't get above previous supports. And the volume overall is looking very inconsistent and very choppy. If you're looking at the volume here, very inconsistent, very choppy. If you're looking at that $3,500 low, the volume was a lot more consistent there. We ended up still, it wasn't enough. We ended up breaking below anyway, and the volume here looks pretty inconsistent and pretty choppy. The market makers are having fun here, knocking some shorts out of their positions, getting that short-term upside. Guys, in the short term, I mean, anything is possible, right? We could just shoot down. We could have a short squeeze. Anything's possible in the short term. That's not really what I'm here to talk about. I want to show you guys, my long-term analysis here. So if I go ahead and we're looking at Bitstamp now on the weekly. If I just go ahead, I've done this analysis before, but I just want to show you guys what I expect for the next year. So if you're looking at this support line here, and you're connecting, support, and then, of course, the price drops below. We'll get to that in a second. If you connect these support lines here, of course, support, price drops below. Guys, the way that Bitcoin plays out with its price is really eerily similar. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. I'm sure you guys have all heard that quote, that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, right? And I think Bitcoin is going to rhyme here. So if you're just looking at this area of the bear market and you kind of just take that time frame and you look, how long was that? It was a little over a year and a quarter or so. Right, so if we're gonna have something, if Bitcoin's gonna rhyme here and do something similar, it's gonna most likely end up being spring of 2020 is what I'm looking at right now. Spring of 2020 is when I believe Bitcoin will find a low wherever it may be and eventually start pushing back up, right? And I think it's going to be about spring of 2020. That's the time frame I'm looking at now for the breakout zone, right? So as Bitcoin comes down here, a lot of people are going to give up. A lot of people, guys, I have this drawn at the 2,500 area. It could be 2,500. I'm still keeping my eye out for that target. It is my preferred buy target for Bitcoin. I'm not going back on that prediction. I'm just afraid that if I say, guys, 2,500 is the low, my prediction, then everyone's just going to go in at 2,500. If we go lower, everyone's going to be like, Kev, what the heck? Guys, it could go, that last video I made, all I wanted to show you guys is that it could go lower than 2,500. 2,500 is still my preferred buy target, but, and it is still my estimated low for Bitcoin. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised if we go lower, right? That's all I want to say. But anyway, we have, this trend here, the price breaks through the trend. We have this trend here, the price breaks through the trend. And of course, I think we are going to create a new trend here and push off that way, right? And I'm looking at spring of 2020, guys, spring of 2020. If we are going to sort of rhyme or, repeat history more or less, it's going to end up looking like this. And Bitcoin would then be continuing on its long-term growth pattern, right? Going into the future. This is, guys, even though Bitcoin goes up however many X and comes down 90%, in the end, major growth is achieved in the end. In the long term, major growth is achieved, guys. But I just want to show you this. Bitcoin it finds a trend. support, support, support. Comes down to that trend line. The market gets shook on the trend line. Support, support, support. Comes to the trend line. Market gets shook on the trend line. And we sort of just break through the trend and we find a new trend to push off of. So this is what I'm expecting now for Bitcoin. Probably about a year and a quarter. My estimation is about spring of 2020 is when we would, or summer of 2020, probably spring of 2020 is when we would be coming back up to resistance and, attempting to break through. If we were going to repeat this. Now, this, guys, if you're just looking at this model I made, this is essentially what I'm expecting, right? If we are going to continue on this long-term growth pattern, right? So take a look here, guys. This is what I'm expecting, right? Is it also possible that, Bitcoin sees an even longer term sustained bear market where we go, maybe we're down here for like a year or two? This is also very possible that, because this run up was just so extreme that this, bear or, this sustained bear market might be a lot longer. It is possible. Although I don't know, guys. There's just too much development now. There's just too much going on in the crypto space for me to think that the market would be that dead for that long, going, into like 2021 or something. I don't think so, guys. I think the model that I just showed you before is the more likely scenario where we kind of play into this range, and then eventually spring of 2020 is what I'm now looking at for the next breakout zone. So the good news here, guys, is that we have, for the few of us who will be around and for the few of us who believe in this technology, we will have more time than we need to accumulate Bitcoin and get set up for the next bull run. A lot of people say, Kev, what do you think? Where's Bitcoin going? How high are we going next time? Guys, I don't know. We have to see how we bottom out. I can't make an upside prediction until we find, at least what seems to be a bottom, right? I mean, guys, I do think we're going to break all-time highs again at some point. And I do think, prices like 30, 50,000 are, very possible in the future. It's just going to take some time, guys. And it takes a lot of patience. And, guys, at this point, if you want to be trading this, you can be trading these swings on leverage and making like all kinds of money right now. That's great, but that's not how I want to do this, guys. I want to, I made money on the bull run, and I want to take those gains and I want to position myself again for the long term so that I can, turn those gains into something else, something greater, right? And I'm sure that's what you guys all want too. But guys, again, I'm just going to be accumulating. I'm going to be taking it slow. I'm going to be waiting to see where this bottom really comes in. And of course, we'll find out in the next year. A lot of people are eyeing up spring of this year to find the bottom. Is that possible? It's absolutely possible. We'll find out soon. I mean, guys, we've come down so far, so fast. This bear market has executed much faster than a lot of people expected. But guys, all I've been trying to say for the past few weeks here is don't just go too crazy right here at these levels. Don't just hop in here and hope that we're just going to shoot to the moon, because that's not, I could be wrong. That's not going to happen. We will most likely get a sustained bear market, and you'll have more than enough time to get yourself positioned here. You'll have more than enough time. So there's no reason to rush, guys. We're not just going to fly out of here and we're off to the moon, all right? Just stay calm, get in slowly, stay comfortable, guys. You want to stay comfortable. Stay comfortable. Don't just go all in at one price. It's just a horrible idea. I mean, you guys know what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, I'm looking at spring of 2020 for the progressive move to at least the resistance and possibly a breakout in that time frame. Maybe summer of 2020 we have a breakout again. Again, there is a chance for a much longer term sustained bear market. There is a chance for that it goes on for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That is a possibility. But personally, right now, I think spring of 2020 seems like the time frame that I see Bitcoin coming back up to at least the levels we're at now, or like 5,000, 6,000, something like that. So guys, we have more than enough time. We have more than a year to get prepared, so don't rush it. I mean, guys, could I be wrong? Could I be wrong and Bitcoin just pops out of here and we're off to the moon again? Yeah, I guess I could be wrong, but I highly doubt this is going to happen. But anything's possible, guys. That is why I am taking positions here. I am going to be eyeing up that $2,500 price target. I will not be going all in at $2,500. I do expect lower prices, right? Always expect lower prices, guys. But yeah, guys, I will be, we're getting closer and closer to the 2,500 mark, and I will be, keeping my eye on this market. It'll have my full attention, as it's already does. But, volume is pretty weak down here. There is a potential for a short squeeze soon. I wouldn't rely on it. But yeah, guys, again, the good news is we have time. Don't rush it. Just stay patient. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for all the support, all the likes, all the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so if you like what you're seeing here. If you don't like what you're seeing here, that's fine as well. Let me know why you don't like it. And I will see you guys soon.